today I'm going to take this as inspiration, as there was a question in a Facebook group I'm in. It's for ENFPs, which is my personality type. Yeah, so I'm just going to use this as like a base for what I'm going to talk about. So this person asked, can I know why real ENFPs make their decisions and see the world through their hearts? What is your motivator for philosophy of life and living? And can we talk a little bit more about how do you view the world and people around you? Blah, 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 blah. What is your ultimate or initial goal and purpose for keeping at it despite having the world prove you that it's not made for your way of living or being? It will hurt you if you're navigating it this way. And what have you done about that? What things have you changed about you or learned about being you through this world? So, yeah. So I replied to this and I was talking about how I am driven by being authentic and true to myself and my soul. I can only do that by following my heart, because if I'm not following my heart and if I'm not being true to myself, then do I even exist? You know what I mean? It's by following your heart that you learn lessons in life. You can't avoid life lessons by adjusting, by just taking the easy route. Actually, it takes a lot of courage to follow your heart. That's why it's called courage. I mean, the word, it's a core in Latin, means heart, so courage. And initially it meant someone who was speaking their heart's mind. That's courage. So yeah, it takes a lot of courage to be authentic and be yourself, and you have to put yourself out there, and you have to, of course, I'm getting to protecting yourself, because that was an epiphany I had. Not that I didn't know anything about it before, but I had an epiphany last night when I was meditating. Yeah, I think I kind of lost my thread. Yeah. So I said, I cannot stand the thought of making choices based on what fits society. What's in that for me really? Is it money, acceptance? What about my self-worth and self-love? I cannot love myself if I'm not being me, because then I don't really exist. That was what I was just saying here. How can I meet people who truly appreciate and love me if I'm not being true to myself? Because if I'm not true to myself and I'm not being me, how can they appreciate and love me for me if they don't really know me, because I'm not being true to myself? I mean, you can adjust and do what's easy, but what kind of life is that if you're not being you? Who is happy if you don't really exist in your own essence? Yeah. So it's not an easy path, but that's the point. It's not supposed to be easy. You're supposed to learn from the lessons of life, and you get put in lessons by following your heart and by being courageous. And I was very courageous, or just naive. I mean, maybe a little bit of both. Maybe it takes maybe it takes a little bit of both. I don't know. But I had to learn that I was naive and being aware of it. And that's what I learned by following my heart, because I got to see what happened if I did that, and it hurt. But as me, and by putting yourself in those difficult situations in life. That's when you hurt and when you have to heal, and when you heal, that's how you grow. So totally worth it. Thing is that then when you do that, you go through this journey, you eventually learn that you have to heal, and you grow, and then you can be smarter about it. But it's still going to be heart-led, because the point is that when you heal, you learn to love yourself and respect yourself. And I'm still learning to put myself first, but yeah, so I'm going to talk about the epiphany I had last night. So when I meditate, I just first I sit, and then I get into a sort of state where I'm not really in the same realm. I don't know. I'm really like in a little bit of a trance. But last night was a little bit different, because so I sit first and then I lay down. It doesn't matter, but I'm just telling you my process, how I meditate. Because I sit down first because I find it kind of easier to just get into that state and breathe, because it's easier to breathe when you sit up, I think. Anyway, then I lay down because sorry. It's so funny, I yawn when I said then I lay down because I just find it more comfortable. And last night, in the beginning of my meditation, my mind was spinning. I was thinking a lot. I was remembering things from an old relationship. I was remembering that my ex, he was upset because his friend's sister had been cheated on by her husband. And I thought about this. This was something that came to me recently. When you heal, when you start healing, things pop up randomly from the past, so that you can think about it and understand things, the lessons, and see things clearer. And this was something that had popped up in my mind recently. And how it was weird that he was so upset because he was treating me the same way. I mean, he had done the same thing, so that was a point for me where I realized that, okay, he didn't love me or care. He cared more about his friends. But I mean, I don't know, but I realized what I started thinking about was how he was just protecting himself. But for some reason, me as an empath, I was protecting him. So I was, in my mind, I was so compassionate and empathizing with him. I understood his behavior because I can understand. Because I can understand most behaviors. Like I can, even if I think it's really wrong, I can understand where it comes from and how the person can resonate and feel, and what feelings drive them to act a certain way, and so on. And so I am able to understand many different perspectives, even if I couldn't do that myself or wouldn't do that myself. And so I understood that he was just protecting himself because he didn't take responsibility for his actions. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is that he was only protecting himself. And I was also protecting him, so who was protecting me? And so I realized that I have to protect myself first, like I am the king of my kingdom. A king has to protect his kingdom first first. He can't think about somebody else's kingdom and let his own kingdom fall to protect someone else's kingdom. That's not how it works. So yeah, it's not my job. I can empathize, but I have to first of all empathize with myself. And it's, of course, it's obvious, but that's just not how it works. You have to have these epiphanies. So the point is that you can still be heart-led, but still respect yourself, because if you love yourself, then you're heart-led, but you are the first love. You have to love yourself first. And so my epiphany continued. And so I understood that even after that relationship ended, I kind of protected him because I was still not seeing that clearly. I was still empathizing with him and understanding his behavior and all that, but it's just not my job, because I was not helping him by understanding him because it didn't make it clear to him that he did something so wrong, because he got away with it, and so he didn't need to deal with it. I mean, not the way that he would have helped him, because you don't want to be that way. And I empathize with that, because I saw it as like a sort of a curse for him to be that way, because he was ruining something good for a behavior that was like kind of like an addiction. So now I lost my... Okay, I was going to get to the point, so... Yeah. And so since I did learn that lesson then, I had to learn it in a relationship with somebody who was making it blatantly clear. He was making it blatantly clear that he expected me to choose him first. He told me that he chose my happiness first before his. It was sacrificial love. And that was the real love, and that makes no sense to me. How can I be happy if somebody sacrifices their happiness for my happiness? I don't want to be with somebody who has to sacrifice their happiness for me, because what does that mean? Are they not happy with me? Isn't that what makes them happy? Then why would we be together if they have to sacrifice their happiness? That's not the goal. Isn't the goal that both should be happy together? Makes no sense. And so, because he was sacrificing his happiness for me, he wanted me to sacrifice my happiness for him, but then nobody's happy. And nobody does it. I don't... So, but that was what I had been doing in the relationship before. I had sacrificed my own happiness for somebody who only cared about his own happiness. It makes no sense. So I understood that I met the next person, that there was a lesson there for me, because then I got to choose myself. I had to choose myself and my happiness. It was made so clear to me that he wanted me to choose his happiness, and he was going to choose my happiness, and it just didn't make any sense for me. Where did I start with this? I started with authentic. Yeah, you have to be authentic and true to yourself to be you, to get to know yourself, because you get to know yourself through life lessons, through healing, because you grow through healing, and it never ends. It's a never-ending journey, and that's what makes life exciting. But once you see that the difficult situations are there to help you grow and learn some lessons, and then when you have learned something, you will be put in situations where you can prove to yourself that you learned a lesson, and then it feels so fucking good. Like, oh, this time I have boundaries. This time I loved myself. I respected myself. It feels so good. It's just, it's not an easy path, because you have to go through a lot of lessons before you realize this, I think. I mean, I don't think that there is any other way. But I don't know, maybe somebody just knew this from the start, and they never had to go through any hard lessons, and they still have the awareness. I don't know, but it seems unlikely to me. So it's not an easy path, but when you've gone through the hardest patch, things get so much easier and more meaningful. And the best of it all is that when you are being true to yourself and when you are healed, you're whole. So if you're not whole, if you're broken, how can you be entirely present? You're not. If pieces of you are broken or missing, you can't truly appreciate the present, because you're not entirely there. So that's why life gets so much better if you get the opportunity to heal. And I think we all know, I don't know if all know, I think that everybody has something to heal, because it starts in childhood. I had to go back and understand stuff about my childhood too. It's just such epiphany, and you start healing once all you have to do is become, because I was thinking about in the past, how do I heal? How do I? Okay, I have to heal, but how? What do I have to do? Basically, you just have to become aware of whatever the issue is, and then it starts healing on its own. You can do it faster, and which I regret sometimes that I didn't know that I had to do this. If I had known the benefits, if I had understood how much I had to heal, I would have been more active in making it happen. But I tried. It's a long story, but it does start on its own, just by you being aware of whatever the issue was. Like, most of us have something that needs to be understood. I've always been on a self-discovery path. That's how I I believe that if you are on that path, you will be in difficult situations and no pain. And because you have to know pain to heal and to get to know yourself, find yourself. So I still give people second chance, but I evaluate in a way I didn't before. I just accepted, and I have to evaluate and see what my intuition says. Still learning. I'm still learning. But yeah, it's kind of exciting, really. Like, I am ready to let go of whatever is not good for me, because I know that I have to let go of those people or things to make space for what's right. And it's so exciting when you see that when you do that, things happen. It's things just happen. Okay, so that's my message for today. I wanted to sit on the floor because I just feel comfortable sitting on the floor. It makes me want to have wine on the floor with pearls and stuff. Okay, so I hope this somehow made you think about something that helps you start a seed of thoughts. It can make big changes. It can make small change, which starts other changes. It's yeah. So I hope this had some sort of value to you. Okay, I have a really hard time ending videos, so I'm just gonna say bye.